everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another very happy Monday to you. So today's motovlog is about the 5 life lessons that I've learned so far since I started riding motorcycles. So here they come. Number 1, everybody's got a sense of adventure in them. They just have to figure out how they go after that adventure. It's really that simple. So let me explain. Before I started riding, I was not the kind of person who saved up their extra money, set it aside so they could buy plane tickets to a country they'd never been to. I've had a lot of friends that do that. I never wanted to do that. That was just never an exciting idea for me. I was also never the sort of person to pack my bags and decide to take a road trip. You know, that was never really my thing. Road trips aren't, well, at least road trips in cars, aren't that exciting for me. And then I bought a motorcycle, and all I wanted to do was pack a duffel bag and go somewhere for 2, 3, 4 days. I didn't really care where, just wanted to get there on a bike. And that's when it sort of started to hit me. Nah, I like to go places. I like to see things. I like to do stuff and have new experiences. I just really prefer to do it when I'm on top of a motorcycle. And I bet a lot of people are like that. They don't think they have a big sense of adventure in them, and maybe even like me, they thought they might be a little boring when it comes to traveling. You're not. You just haven't found the way you need to do your adventuring yet. Something tells me it might just be on 2 wheels. Number 2. We are all not really as different as we have been led to believe we are. And here's what I mean by that. So there are loads and loads and loads of stereotypes out there about who's a biker, who rides a Harley, how do we think, blah, 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 blah. And the truth of the matter is, none of those stereotypes really hold much water, because the riding community is made up of a massive diversity of people. And I've had a chance to meet a lot of these people, which has been probably the coolest part of riding. Like yesterday, we went on a group ride. There were, I think, 11 or 12 bikes, probably 15, 16 of us there. And every single person that was there was super friendly, super, you know, really kind. Everybody wanted to talk to everybody. Everybody wanted to know how everybody was doing. You know, Haley and I got home from this group ride and we just kept talking about how cool everybody was. And the fact of the matter is, we're all bikers. We all have a common interest. We all have, you know, a common passion for riding and going places. And that's, of course, why we were all there. But I guarantee out of those 15, 16 other people, there were plenty of them that maybe I, you know, wouldn't agree with on things like politics or religion or world events or whatever. But that all pretty much did not matter, because we had a lot more in common than we had differences. And I guess, you know, yeah, that's something I knew before I started riding, but I didn't experience it on such an intense level until I started riding and meeting all sorts of different characters. And that's been really cool. Number 3. I, and by extension pretty much everyone else, am capable of doing way more than I thought I was. You know, when I started riding, the first thing I wanted to do was obviously ride it, and then I also wanted to do lots of stuff to my bike. I was never a mechanically inclined person when it came to my cars or whatever other vehicles I was riding, ever. I never wanted to do anything, or even if I did, I had no intention of doing it myself. And all of a sudden I bought a bike. I want to put on all sorts of parts. I want to bolt on stuff. I want to replace stuff. I want to make it my own, and I want to make it cool, make it faster, whatever. The fact of the matter is, since I started riding and had bikes to work on, I've been doing all sorts of work by myself with my own hands, which has been really cool. And yes, a Harley tech could have done it faster, and in some cases done it better. But, you know, there's nothing that can really replace the feeling of having done work yourself. And nothing can replace the feeling of doing like a 1,200-mile ride. That was the first ride I did on my Street Glide when I bought it last summer. Had to get it from Minnesota all the way down to North Florida, and the only way that I could do it without renting a really expensive trailer was to ride it down here myself. And a couple years ago, if you had asked me, hey, do you think you could ride 1,200 miles on a motorcycle in a couple days? I would have said, no. That's the dumbest thing anyone's ever asked me. How could I ever do that? Turned out to be true. Number 4. You know you're doing something that you really, really love when you can't help but just be yourself while you do it. You know, we all got things we got to do. Some things we love, some things we don't. And while we're doing all those things, whether we like them or not, you know, we kind of put on this mask, this version of ourselves, depending on how much we really like to do the thing that we're doing, because sometimes we dislike doing a thing so much that just to get through doing the task, you kind of got to convince yourself that you like it a little bit. And when you do that, you're not really being yourself. You're being, you know, some modified version of you so that you can get through the thing. Well, when I'm riding, I don't have to worry about that. And I'm sure many of you, if you've been riding for any time at all, you figure this out too. Man, it's a heck of a lot more fun when you just get to relax. You get to be yourself. You get to just enjoy what you're doing. And that's been one of the most fun things about having started riding is, I hated that tight spot. That's one of the most exciting things about riding is I don't have to put up any walls. I don't have to wear a mask. I get to just be me. Because this is one of the most enjoyable things I get to do with my time. So why waste it trying to be something else? And number 5. Life is what you make of it. And I know, that's super cliche. That's probably something I was, aware of before I started riding. But before I started riding, when I looked at a road trip I had to take for work, for school, for whatever, all I saw was a map and miles and traffic. Now if I want to take a trip, I don't just see a map with miles and traffic. I see a path, I see a route, I see a journey and a place to get to. But time that I get to enjoy getting there. And that's a pretty accurate parallel for life as far as I'm concerned. A lot of other people, they see streets and roads, they see traffic, and they just see time wasted in a car. I see something to do. I see adventure. I see miles. I see people to meet. And, as far as I'm concerned, that's life. You could choose to see it as challenges or obstacles or roadblocks, if you will, of what's going to come, or, we can see it as people we get to meet, places we get to go, things we get to experience, and new challenges we get to overcome. And is that sort of cliche and mushy? You bet. Do we need to learn some of those cliche important life lessons every once in a while? I think so. So there you go. Those are my 5 big life lessons I've learned so far since I started riding. And I'm sure lots of you who have been riding longer than I have learned a lot of important things too. So make sure you let me know about those things down there in the comments, because a heads up would probably be really appreciated. If you liked what you heard, or if you found anything about this video interesting, be sure to hit like and subscribe. This is, I'm like 5-6 weeks into this motovlogging thing, and I've been just super appreciative and super honored and frankly surprised with the growth that has happened so far. So shout out to all of you that are already subscribed. Shout out to you who's about to hit that subscribe button. And for now, I'm the two-wheel teacher, and I will see you on the road. Really appreciate it.